Hey everybody, doing a story on Atlantis tonight, and I'm going to try to give you an exact date and a cause for that civilization to go down. I've talked about Atlantis before, all the evidence, all the writings in the ancient texts that say the survivors of the civilization went on and started the Egyptian civilization. The ancient Egyptian text has many references directly relating to this Atlantis. And I believe it was called Atlantis for this reason. In the ancient Egyptian text, if you take the compound of ATL, Adel, if you will, and Anti, ANTI, they are the forms of two words. The first means a division of land, Adel, and Anti means bounded by water. So Atlanti simply means a division of land bounded by water. Now, Plato is the most famous reference we have. His reference to Atlantis is pretty much the one that is most well known. And this also corresponds to when the Egyptians seem to mark a time with the way the pyramids are laid out and the way the Sphinx is facing his celestial counterpart, and the way the Nile is lined up with the Milky Way exactly. They seem to be pointing to this date around a little over 12,000 years ago, or right around 12,000 years ago. So, do we have any evidence of something cataclysmic happening on the Earth around that time, when Atlantis went down and it seems the Egyptian civilization started? Well, this is Sign of the Times. This is signofthetimes.com here. Or .net, excuse me, and they have a story about a meteorite storm that smashed into the earth 12,000 years ago and killed off prehistoric people. There is geological evidence of this, and we have evidence of rocks being thrown out of the earth by this impact, thrown out of the earth in molten form, coming down and hardening, and this can pretty much be proven by geologists. And we also have a direct fossil record of many mammals that all of a sudden became extinct at this exact point in time. So I think there is plenty of evidence that there was something that really basically changed the face of the earth and altered the course of many living things. And this book here, called When the Earth Nearly Died, is one of the more disturbing books I've ever read about an ancient cataclysm that happened on the earth roughly in this time period between 11,500 and 12,000 years ago. And it's by Allen and Delaire, and it was written quite a while ago, and it was republished, I believe, about 15 years ago, called Cataclysm. And this book goes over ancient writings from around the world, these really old ancient civilizations that seem to document something really bad happening on the earth about this time. And I'm going to leave a link below if you want to read about this book. It's one of the more fascinating books that I've ever read, to tell you the truth. And it seems that there are parts of the earth where there are caves and depressions in the earth where something happened about this time period where it seems like a wave rolled over the earth and just bundled up every living plant, tree, animal, human, and just bundled them all together and deposited them in just these huge layers that can be traced right to this time period. And that was one of the more disturbing things that I read. And there are places all around the earth, really, that show this happening. Now, this is a clip of Michael Tessarian talking about this book, When the Earth Nearly Died, and what was happening on the earth around this time, from the ancient texts.
It was so powerful that it created unbelievable devastation. The pole shift we're talking about here. Studies have shown that at 10,000 years BC, the celestial pole was inclined at the angle of 30 degrees from its present position. This is, in turn, strongly suggests that the terrestrial axis then orientated differently from today. The gigantic worldwide tectonic disturbances of the late Pleistocene times occurred almost simultaneously on a near unimaginable scale, I should say, precisely what could be expected from a powerful external influence, but not from the Ice Age conditions conventionally believed. This is from a book you all should get called When the Earth Nearly Died. I have it abstracted in my dossier, so don't worry about it. Then the Tahoe, not far from here, the Tahoe Indians are saying, there was a time when their tribe possessed the whole earth and were strong and numerous and rich. But a day came when a people rose up stronger than they and defeated and enslaved them. Afterward, the Great Spirit sent an immense wave across the continent from the sea, and this wave engulfed both the oppressors, look at that last line, both the oppressors and the oppressed, leaving only a very small remnant. Very suggestive that. Plato says, in one day and one fatal night there came the mighty earthquakes and inundations that engulfed that warlike peoples. Look at this references.
So it seems the ancient texts were telling us that something very bad happened, and civilizations had to move and change, and there was a great loss of life. And this is the same website here, signofthetimes.net, and we have proof that there was impacts in Pennsylvania and South Carolina. And if this was a meteor storm, it's not really that great of a stretch to say that maybe something impacted up in Canada too, and at that time there was still a huge ice cap left, and maybe all that ice cap got melted in one impact and rushed into the sea. We have evidence of large amounts, I mean massive amounts of water rolling across the upper New York area, creating the Finger Lakes of New York, and we also have evidence in the Scablands in Washington of a huge massive outburst of water. So maybe all of that ice got melted in one swift blow. And wouldn't that make sense with Plato's theory that Atlantis went down in one night instead of a long melting of the ice age that, people definitely would have noticed and just moved, and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Now, if they went and started the ancient Egyptian civilization, these people documented their lives pretty well. And shouldn't we have maybe a start to when this civilization started documented somewhere in Egypt? Well, this is the zodiac in the Temple of Hathor at Dendera. And this is basically known as the Egyptian Mayan calendar in some circles. Definite references have, similarities have been made between the both of them. And it just so happens that this zodiac starts with the constellation Leo, indicating a mean date of about 11,800 years ago to 12,000 years ago. So, we have direct reference and proof of something hitting the earth 12,000 years ago, maybe creating a massive outburst of water. We have these myths of Atlantis going down in one day and night. We have these books written on this catastrophe that are basically, hey, if the ancients are saying it and documented it, we should listen to it. And we have this Egyptian hieroglyph on the zodiac saying, hey, this is when it all started, about 12,000 years ago. So that's what I'm saying here in my upload. I'm saying Atlantis went down 12,000 years ago, and the Egyptian civilization started around 11,900 years ago, based on this zodiac sign. So, just thought that was interesting. Hope you did too. Have a nice day.